Good evening. Welcome to Meet the Candidates Night. So if we arise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance Welcome everybody. I want to take a moment to thank the League of Women's Voters for hosting the event, moderating the event, and being so grateful the last minute to accepting the invitation. It's a pleasure to have you. Tonight we have Barbara Epstein. Thank you for coming. We have Marilyn and Ann. So thank you. So good luck to all the candidates and to you, Barbara.
Thank you very much. Welcome all here in person and those of you that are watching us live stream. We have our timekeeper in the front here. We'll post 30 seconds and a stop sign for you. And if you can please feel free to go get cards to ask questions. The cards are in the back, and you can bring the cards up here or bring them back there as well. Okay. Please, if you're writing a question, please make it legible that we can read it. Number one, please silence your cell phones. And to let you know a little bit about the League of Women Voters. Is a nonpartisan organization. The League never supports candidates. It encourages informed and active participation in government. In keeping with our nonpartisan policy, myself, our timekeeper, and anyone are not residents of the district. Because all of you are all welcome to join. League is not for women only. At this point, I'd like to introduce you to the candidates. Catalin Amatrudo. William Henry is not here. He is out of town, you told me. Lori Kowalski and Nicole Verdone. That's it on applause or comments until we get to the end, please. Let me read to you the procedures for tonight's forum, which the candidates have all agreed to. The moderator is a member of the League of Voters from outside the district. Candidates' opening statements will be given in alphabetical order. Each candidate will be allowed 3 minutes for an opening statement. When all candidates have spoken, we will open the meeting to questions from the audience. So please continue to give us questions. The moderator, we will attempt to rotate the order of responses for each question. We have a timekeeper, and candidates have 30 seconds. We'll hold up a sign for 30 seconds, and then we ask to stop speaking. Candidates will have 2 minutes for a closing statement. And we will reverse the order from the opening statement and reverse the order for the closing statements. Since the purpose of the meeting is determined the candidate's views, no substitute speaker will be allowed to appear should a candidate not be able to attend. The use of props, charts, or visuals, and the distribution of campaign literature is prohibited. In accordance with League policy, audio or video recording by author members of the meeting will be permitted only if agreed to by the candidates. The League maintains the right to record the forum and publish it on a League-controlled electronic pages, which we are not doing. No other recording will be allowed. No partial transcript or recording may be published without written permission from the League. And we're happy to have this being live streamed as well. And we welcome all of you who are watching this. And we'll begin with opening statements. Adeline.
Hello, everyone. My name is Caitlin Amatrudo, and my family and I live in East Norwich. Thank you all for being here tonight. I know it's not easy on a Wednesday at 7 o'clock. I'm a lifelong resident with a deep connection to our school. My father graduated from Oyster Bay High School in 1967, and I graduated in 2006. I now have two daughters, Julianne and Caroline, who are both in pre-K and one's in first grade at Theodore Roosevelt. Thank you to my wonderful biology and chemistry teachers here at Oyster Bay High School, I developed an interest in science. I went on to earn 2 degrees, a Bachelor of Science in Community Health Education from Hofstra University, as well as a Bachelor of Nursing from Adelphi. I'm sorry. So my whole entire career I have dedicated to community health, nursing, and helping people. I have been a registered nurse since 2014, and my experience is in pediatric nursing and intensive care. My love for children and pediatric background led me also to spend 2 years of my career as a school and camp nurse, ensuring children's safety and well-being during the pandemic. Since my daughters began at Roosevelt, I have been very involved in their school and their education. I'm an active member of the PTA, and I am currently on the Roosevelt site-based team. We sit and make decisions on needed changes to the Roosevelt facilities. I also give back to the community by volunteering for a local animal rescue. I love our community, which is why I chose to raise my children here. I want to serve on the Board of Education because I have an emotional connection and dedication to the school district. I would like to give back to the place that has given me so much by ensuring that our school system continues to evolve and improve. It is important that we continue these improvements and work together so our children can receive the best education possible and ensure that the district obtains the level of success that our children deserve. By working together, we can also ensure that the budget and action items align with the needs and interests of our district and our diverse population. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to tonight's discussion.
Thank you. Lori?
Good evening. My name is Lori Kowalski, and I'm the current president of the Oyster Bay East Norwich School District Board. Welcome to Meet the Candidates Night. It's my great pleasure to be here with you tonight as a candidate for re-election to the school board. Thank you all for coming, and thank you to the League of Women Voters for leading the event. As many of you know, I've been a member of the Oyster Bay East Norwich School Board for the last 8 years and served as the president of the board for the past 2 years. During this time, I have been proud to lead our district through a number of very important changes and improvements, from navigating the challenges of COVID, to spearheading the search for a new superintendent, and to proposing and passing a needed bond to improve and expand our facilities. As a resident of the Oyster Bay for over 30 years, I have raised 3 children who have attended our schools since kindergarten. I think it's important to help serve our community. I have volunteered extensively in our schools, serving as the vice president of the PTA Council, chaired the PTA Spirit Wear Committee for several years at Vernon, chaired the Oyster Fest parking at both Roosevelt and the high school, and I still volunteer for parking, as I know these are very important fundraisers for our PTAs. I've also coached T-ball, helped start the parent pickleball nights for our adult community members, and been on numerous teacher interview committees at the high school. These experiences have given me a deep understanding of the challenges facing our schools and the needs of our students and families, and show that I've been committed to this school district for the last 25 years. In addition to my volunteer work, I also have a strong background in engineering and law. I hold a Bachelor's of Engineering in Electrical Engineering from Stony Brook University and a JD from Hofstra University School of Law. I am skilled in litigation, negotiating contracts, and as an intellectual property attorney for a large multinational corporation, I have honed my skills in negotiation and problem solving, which have been invaluable in my work on the school board. I am a leader and a confident decision maker. During my time on the school board, I have championed a number of important programs and initiatives, from introducing an orchestra program to the district, a golf program, sailing, and robotics programs at the Oyster Bay High School. And I've also been a strong advocate for foreign language instruction in our elementary schools, introducing Mandarin into Vernon, and next year we'll be introducing Spanish and French as well. I've also worked to address issues with respect to the ratings of our school district, really drilling down into the data to correct it, so that our ratings reflect the fabulous children we have in our schools. Looking ahead, I'm excited to continue working with you to enhance our school district. I want to continue to improve our academic offerings so that all students can achieve excellence. And I'm committed to ensuring that our district remains fiscally responsible while adding new programs and resources. Thank you for your consideration and support, and if elected, I look forward to the opportunity to continue serving you as a member of the Oyster Bay East Norwich School Board. Thank you.
Nicole?
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and thank you for taking the time to attend this meeting. My name is Nicole Morgan Verdone, and I'm running for the trustee position on the Oyster Bay East Norwich Board of Education. I was born in Oyster Bay and am now the third generation raising my own family here. I'm here today to share my vision for our schools and how my unique blend of personal and professional experience can contribute to the ongoing success of our district. As a parent with children in the district, I have firsthand insight into the educational needs of our students, which drives my commitment to improving education for all students. My son is at Theodore Roosevelt and my daughter is enrolled in the Learning Tree. My son has special needs, and when he was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, I decided to go back to school to obtain a degree in special education. I did this so I could better understand him and help him in any way I could. The dedication I have shown my child is the same dedication that I would show yours. I believe in treating each child as if they are your own. I'm so pleased with the education my son has received so far. I want to make sure that all children, regardless of ability or background, receive the same education. This includes children with special needs, English language learners, our average student, and our high achievers. I believe that no child should fall between the cracks. We need to meet each child where they are and get them toward their next level. With a dual master's degree in elementary education and special education, as well as nearly 2 decades of experience in the education field, I possess a comprehensive understanding of policies and procedures that support effective teaching and learning. I am well versed in curriculum, proficiency ratings, special services, and data analysis. I am a data-driven person and believe that we must use it to help us make important decisions that affect our schools. I also firmly believe in the importance of listening to all stakeholders, parents, teachers, and community members, to make informed decisions that benefit our students and schools. I am committed to fostering strong partnerships between the school district and the community, as I recognize that collaboration is essential for our shared success. Decisions that are made for our school district should be made by the community, not just administration and the board. I think questionnaires are a great start. As a trustee, I would be dedicated to ensuring that our students receive a well-rounded education that prepare them for success in college, career, and life. This includes not only academic achievement, but also social, emotional learning and character development. In closing, I'm passionate about education and commitment to serving our community. I believe that my personal and professional experience makes me an ideal candidate for the trustee position on the Board of Education. Together, we can work together to ensure that every student in our district receives the best education possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to let all of you know, there are 4 candidates running for 2 seats. So you have choice for 2. In addition to, we've all agreed on this candidates forum will last 1 hour. But you know that as well. I will begin with the questions. First one. What are some obstacles and concerns facing our school district?
I believe as the years are coming to us, I believe just providing innovative programs, keeping up with technology advances could be an obstacle for our students. I believe student discipline, bullying, also a very big issue that we have to face. Presenting a budget that aligns with student needs, as our interest rates go up, I think that could be an issue that our board could face. I believe that's basically.
Thank you. Lori?
Sure, I think there's several issues that we're facing. One is we do have this 2% tax cap that we have to fall within, and we still want to add programming. And we have done so much, even though we've been working within that tax cap. I'd like to add a lot more programming. One of my concerns is that, because of COVID and the shutdowns, I'm concerned about gaps in children's education and whether that's going to have an effect in these coming years on our students and their test scores, and how we're going to have to fill those needs, whether it's social and emotional gaps, whether it's learning gaps. I think we have to watch our test scores and watch our students' performance to see if we're going to have to add any extra services. I also think that we have to, make sure that our kids are healthy and happy in our school district, and also that, as Caitlin said, bullying in our school has to be controlled. We have new efforts and new programming to control bullying, but I think it's something we have to focus on as well. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is science research, because I think we have to get a real science research program going where we can connect postdocs to our students so that we can get high-end research in our schools and perhaps win some of these research competitions.
Thank you. Nicole?
Yes, so one issue that when I was getting signatures came up quite a few times was the high administration turnover. And I believe to tackle that issue, I would propose that we would have an onboarding program, which is a well-designed onboarding process that could help acclimate the new administrators to the district to establish clear goals, SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, to help promote the overall success of our district, to promote recognition and appreciation. Regularly acknowledging administrators' hard work and appreciation can boost morale and job satisfaction. Encourage open and transparent communication between the school district and the community. And then I would say exit surveys to be conducted why administration is leaving, and conduct regular climate surveys to distinguish what areas of improvement are needed.
Thank you. Next question. Laura, we'll start with you. What are some things you're proud of that our school has accomplished in the last 2 to 3 years?
I think we've done tremendous work in the last few years. We have something I never thought would pass, but it did, was universal busing, which I wanted when I was younger and had kids and I was working. We have increased our graduation rate. I noticed that a lot of boys were not playing sports in the fall, so I asked for a study to be performed to see how many were playing in the spring versus the fall. And we saw there was a huge gap of about 50 students who were not participating in any sports in the fall. So we instituted a golf program. We had a huge success, and about 100 kids signed up for our golf program. So now we have lots of kids participating in fall athletics. We instituted a sailing program, boys volleyball, crew. We now have 2 turf fields. We're putting in more classrooms at TR. We introduced an orchestra. You know, we were the only school in Nassau County that did not have an orchestra, so we instituted an orchestra. We are now putting foreign languages at Vernon. We put in Mandarin, and now in September we're putting in Spanish and French. We have improved science research options. We put in AP at macroeconomics, AP Spanish, a robotics program at the high school, Stony Brook engineering course, and we've increased our security at the school as well by hiring many security guards.
Thank you. Nicole?
So in the previous board meetings that I've been to, I saw the technology that has been being implemented within the schools, and I think it's absolutely amazing. The keyboarding, the iPad apps, the coding, the robotics, the digital citizenship. I think that those are all great things. As Lori said, sports with golf and sailing has been great, and the introduction of foreign language as well.
Thank you. Caitlin?
I think I'm most proud of a few things. The increased graduation rates is definitely something that struck me by going to the last few board meetings. I think that's wonderful. The universal busing was great for a lot of us working parents, and that was amazing that got passed. Like Nicole had said, and Lori got the technology. I love that we have the Seesaw app in Roosevelt. I don't know if that's available to the other schools. I love that my children's teachers are posting pictures. I can see what they're doing. It just makes me feel very connected. I like to know what's going on. I think that's a very big deal. I have friends in neighboring communities, and they're like, "You're so lucky you have this app." So it's really wonderful that our teachers are, showing us what the kids are doing in school. I think it's great about the orchestra, musical theater at Vernon, which is phenomenal. There's a lot of new things that are here that when I went to the schools, pretty much it's all brand new, and it's all just going to get better.
Okay, thank you. Nicole, we'll start with you. What do you see as the greatest challenge to our school district on both an elementary level and the secondary level, and how do you plan to address that challenge? How do you plan to address that challenge?
So I think one of the greatest challenges is making curriculum accessible to all students. I think that we have a great curriculum at Oyster Bay, and I believe that we need to just make sure that we make it accessible to our special ed students, our English language learners, and our high achievers. No child should fall between the cracks. And one of the way I would say that we could help that is by having curriculum training for parents. Common Core is completely different than when we were in school, and I think learning about how to teach your own kids and how to help your own kids learn those best practices would be beneficial. I believe in enrichment programs for high achievers and customized programs to empower ELL students, as well as having an inclusive education for those with special needs. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, Caitlin?
So I think a big thing is just community engagement. I think if we all could work together, that's how we can achieve more of the communication between the parents, the students, the teachers. I think enrichment would be a great idea as well. And I think full transparency of all programs and just making sure the parents and teachers and students are involved and everyone is able to communicate and make sure they are in the know of what their kids are learning.
Lori?
Sure. I want to make sure that our schools are a safe place for our students. I think that is, something you want to make sure that the students want to come to your schools, especially in those lower grades. I think we have to, when we get to maybe for actual, learning and help with speech and perhaps support with reading, I think that's something we have to focus on heavily in our lower schools. And I think in our secondary level schools, we should really look at improving some of our test scores as well, because for some reason, I don't think that they're at the level they should be at. And I would like to see that improve, whether it's coaching of the teachers or looking at how things are being taught. I also would love to put more computer coding down in the Vernon Elementary School. I think it's just such an important skill that everyone's going to need to learn in the future, that I would like to see more of that down there. I'd like to see our languages really thrive down at Vernon. I'd like, we're going to we started with Mandarin in 6th grade. We're going to move that down now to 5th grade, and in 6th grade, we're going to have Spanish and French, and we'd like to move it down even further. So I'd really love to see that be pushed down as far as we can into the elementary level.
Thank you. David? What is the main reason you decided to run for school board?
So I think the main reason is that I have a very deep emotional connection to Oyster Bay, being a lifelong resident. I have 2 daughters at the elementary level, like I had stated before, and I would like to be an advocate on behalf of our children and our parents in our district. And I am committed to helping everyone and all the students, and I would like to basically just be people's voice in the elementary level and the middle school level, and just try to focus on more of what parents feel like they need. And I want to make sure everyone is comfortable bringing things to the board level, and maybe hopefully get more people to attend board meetings so we can have everyone's voices heard.
Thank you. Leila? Lori?
The reason I'd like to be reelected to the Board of Ed is to continue the work to achieve the goals this current Board of Ed has set. We're a pretty much unified Board of Ed, and we've accomplished so many objectives within the restrictions of this tax cap. I like to hear parents' concerns, because I think that you can always come up with some type of resolution. We are very open to having letters sent to the Board of Ed email, and we discuss everything we receive. By returning to the Board of Ed, I would like to continue with my fellow trustees in the school district administration to achieve excellence in our school district. I'd like to establish, as I said, more research opportunities. I think that's one area we're a little lacking. I'd really love to see a Regeneron winner or something like that at Oyster Bay School District. I'd love to see more internships. I really, what concerned me a lot was our ratings. Why are our grade school ratings so low? And when you really look at it, you see that the data is wrong, and we have some great kids in this school district. So I really want to be reelected to the school board to just continue this great work we've done, continue adding program, and really being fiscally responsible.
Thank you. Nicole?
I'm running for the Board of Education because I'm passionate about education and dedicated to improving our schools. As a parent with children in the district and an experienced educator, I want to bring my unique blend of personal and professional experience to the table, advocating for policies that ensure all students receive the support they need. I believe that every child should have access to the resources, tailored instruction, and assistance necessary to thrive in our schools, regardless of their background or abilities. I'd also like to see more parent involvement. My husband and I were recently at a SEPTA meeting for our son, and there was only about 2 people there. And then I also noticed at the board meetings, there's really not a great turnout. So that is something I'd like to work on.
Thank you. Lori? How do you feel about allocating school district funding for increased diversity, equity, and inclusion programming?
Well, we have actually done that already. New York State has put in some diversity, equity, and inclusion programming. I actually sit on a committee for that as well, where we discuss the issues facing the district, perhaps how we want things taught. At Oyster Bay, we believe in teaching students to create their own views and which types of lenses you can view things through. So I think we've already implemented a lot of that, and it is just starting. But I think almost every board or a few board members have been sitting on the diversity, equity, and inclusion team to discuss these issues.
Thank you. Nicole?
I'd have to agree with Lori that I believe that they're already implemented in schools, the inclusion programs. So I pretty much leave it at that.
Thank you. Big one.
I believe DEI is important in schools. It's very important to teach diversity, inclusion, and equity. I do believe that, like everyone else said, that we are seeing it in our schools, and it's very important to give students skills to develop their own view of the world without telling them what the world should be.
Thank you. All right. What is your opinion of the new research coming out regarding the reading programs? How would you go about addressing parent concerns with low literacy rates?
I just answered the first one. Oh, you want? I can answer that.
No.
Oh, it's her. Sorry.
Nicole,
Oh, can you repeat the question?
what is your opinion of the new research coming out regarding the reading programs? How would you go about addressing parent concerns with low literacy rates?
I believe that, especially with the reading programs in early childhood education, they need to be quality programs that expand the access to pre-kindergarten, strengthen the curriculum in the early grades. So I believe that I would work closely with teachers, administrators, and parents to identify best practices and implement research-based strategies to create a robust foundation for all students in the district.
Okay, thank you. Kaylee?
I believe if parents are concerned about certain the literacy levels and in the way their children are being taught, I think this is a collaborative effort that should be discussed between teachers, parents, and I think, like Nicole said, everything should be based on the kids' needs and make sure we are meeting those kids' needs and make sure it's on their level of understanding.
Thank you. Lori?
Obviously reading is very important in our lower grades, and we actually are training more of our teachers in the Wilson reading techniques that teaches how to teach decoding of the words, because we think it is very important. And it's not just reading, also it's speech. I think when you can get these children at such a young age to really learn and understand how to reading, it helps them throughout the rest of their schooling.
Okay. Caitlin, start with you. What is your take on environmental issues? Do you think our school is green enough and the students are aware of what they could contribute?
I believe so. And in terms of environmental, I know Earth Day had just passed, and my children came home with many things that they learned in school about Earth Day, recycling. We just had a huge program the week at Roosevelt. They were doing coupons, how they could save the environment, protect the environment, recycling. I do believe at the elementary level, I cannot speak for any middle school or the high school, obviously, but I do believe my children are learning about the environment and in Roosevelt currently.
Lori?
Sure. At being on the school board, I've seen a lot of recycling initiatives from the children. We also do a lot of work with the Waterfront Center so that the children understand how important our environment is to us, especially in this area. And if you see, a lot of our science research is actually focused on the environment and our waterfront area. So I think we're doing a pretty good job at that. I think the kids, when they come up with projects, they're always looking in that area. It's one of our popular areas that they look into, is how to protect the environment and the animals. So I think we're doing a pretty good job.
Thank you. Nicole?
Like Caitlin had said, I know Roosevelt does Earth Day Week where they're learning about recycling, reducing, reusing. I think it would be beneficial to implement more programs at the higher level.
Thank you. All right. The topic is gun violence. What's your approach? More drills? Or staff? Or not quite sure the rest of it, but let's deal with the idea of gun violence related to schools.
Sorry,
Related to gun violence and the schools.
what's my approach to it?
Yes.
So we took that very seriously. Some of the first years I was on the board, and we have hired an entire security team. We have a very close relationship with the Nassau County Police. In fact, a lot of times you'll see that people will say that, how come there's so many police cars at the high school? But a lot of times what they do is they just stop and they come in and they make a presence and they just meet and greet so that people know that they're here. We have systems so that visitors can only enter in one doorway at each school, and their IDs are scanned. It's a real tough situation because I don't know what you can actually do to completely stop anyone who has an intent to come into a school. We've talked to Nassau County Police. They have given us a lot of ideas, and we've secured our schools in lots of ways that we don't even mention because it's not something you want to let the community know about, because you want to keep some of those things secret in case somebody wants to come in and come into your schools. So I think we are on the right track. We are always open to people's suggestions. We actually have a full security committee, and I don't know if you know, because a lot of the board work is done on these committees. So we created a security committee, and we have a lot of board members on it who discuss this topic. We had Todd Cronin, who was a former police officer also, and I think we've come up with some really good changes to our school district.
Thank you. Nicole?
I want to say first that I think that the security at the school is top notch. A lot of the security guards are retired law enforcement, which I believe is important. I know on the parent page there had been mentioned about armed guards at the school, and that's something that I think, you bring guns into a school, you're bringing guns into a school. It's not something that I would be for. On the other hand, I understand what it means to have someone that is armed in case there was an active shooter. But again, those would all be something that I think the community as a whole would have to decide.
Thank you.
I do believe the security in our schools is top notch. Like previously said, I know when I go to Roosevelt, it's very hard to get in without an ID, even if they know you and see you a million times during the week. All the doors are locked. I feel very safe, even when I'm picking up my daughter at 11:10. The security cards are there. You can't get anywhere near the doors. I think our school district and board does a great job of ensuring safety. I think it's great that they collaborate with the Nassau County Police Department for ideas. And I also agree armed guards should be a complete last resort, and we should go all routes before we even could discuss that.
Okay, thank you. Nicole, start with you. What do you see as the board's roles and responsibilities?
So I think that the role of the board is to create a shared vision for the future of education, to set the direction of the school district to achieve the highest student performance, to provide rigorous accountability for student achievement, to develop a budget and present it to the community, to support a healthy district culture for work and learning, and to create strategic partnerships with the community stakeholders.
Thank you. Caitlin?
I think some of the attributes for a board member, I believe listening to the community, parents, students, teachers, administrators, supporting them at every level, setting the direction for the school district to achieve its highest performance, developing a budget that obviously meets all needs, all students, maintain all the policies. And I think it's also important to contribute to ideas based on personal experience. And of course, like I said, just making sure all of our special needs and our diverse community is needed and met.
Lori?
The role of the school board is to create policy and all the policies. It's also very important to hire a good superintendent. That's our role as well. We have to make sure that we hire a superintendent that we feel will lead the district in the direction we wanted. When we were sitting looking at superintendents, and I think we looked at over 64 of them, we all decided we wanted a superintendent that was focused on the students and the parents, and that they are our customers and we have to serve them. So we found Dr. Yanni as our superintendent. I think he's done a great job. We are also here to set the direction of the school. You can't get everything done at once. You have to pick certain areas that you want to work in. So we set those goals every year as to what we want to achieve. And I think it's really important to get parent input on that. I think it's important to get student input on that and teacher input on that. It's all the stakeholders that make the school district.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. What do you think are the current weaknesses in our district? How do you think we compare to other local districts in terms of literacy, programs, and academics?
I don't think we have many weaknesses, or if any. I haven't experienced anything so far in Theodore Roosevelt. I think we have a very strong board right now. I love all the teachers my children have been with the last 2 years. I think compared to other districts, I think we're very well. I think it's hard and also subjective when you think of the other districts around us. We're a very small school and we are a diverse school, so it's very hard to compare. And we shouldn't be compared to other students, to other school districts. We should try to achieve academic excellence, just like other schools do around us. But I'm very happy with the school, and I don't really see any weaknesses right now.
Lori?
I don't think it's a weakness. I think the fact that we're a small school, sometimes it's hard to run full sports teams and things like that, and the kids are doing so many things. But I think we've addressed a lot of the weaknesses, whether it was foreign language in our schools, not enough sports. I think we've done a really good job doing that so far. And I think as soon as we see weaknesses, we address them. I would like to see our graduation rate up a little higher. I'd like to see some of our test scores higher. I'd like to see our some of the grade school ratings, things like that, corrected. I'd like to see our data corrected. I think our kids are happy. They're performing well. That some of them are getting into some great colleges. So far, I'm pretty pleased with how we've been doing.
Thank you. Nicole?
So as Caitlin and Lori said, I really haven't found many current weaknesses that are occurring in the school. Compared to other districts, I think that all the changes that have been made within the 21st bond and then our budgets, I think we're becoming one of the top innovative schools in the area. So I believe that we're doing a great job.
Good, thank you. We have a growing body of students of color, but very few teachers that represent these backgrounds. How will you help to diversify our teaching staff? Or maybe we can add also programs. Lori?
Oh, me?
Yes.
It's interesting that I think that's a very important topic, and actually on my IDE, the diversity, equity, and inclusion calls, that's the one thing I think that we have to do more of, is finding more teachers that represent our student body. I think that's one way that you just find mentors for these students. They see their teachers or their administrators in more powerful positions, and I think we have to try to do that. Dr. Yanni, he knows that that's one of our goals, is to diversify our teaching staff. So we're working on it, and we're trying to. There's not that many applicants, which we're finding, but I think I 100% agree that we have to try to diversify our teaching staff.
Okay, thank you. Nicole?
I definitely agree as well that we need to diversify our teaching staff. I currently work in St. Albans, Queens, and we have a very diverse staff makeup, and I think it benefits the children. So I think we need to work on diversifying our staff.
I will agree with Lori and Nicole. Diversity is very important. I definitely think we need to diversify our teaching staff. I know Lori had said that there isn't many applicants, but I think it would be great, and I'm in agreement as well.
Thank you. Okay. Nicole? Start with you. Do your goals align with the board goals? If yes, what would you focus on to achieve these goals? If no, what goals would you set as a board member?
Yes, I definitely agree with the goals that the board has currently. I think that their main focus is to make sure that every child receives the best possible education and it elevates excellence. So I definitely agree with their goals and would support them.
I'm 100% in agreement with our current board. I think they have always been available. Dr. Ayani has always been available if I ever needed anything. I've had some conversations with him over the past couple of years. I think our board has been all about education, meeting the needs of all of our students, and really trying to set our students up for excellence, college, trying to make the courses better and adding more courses while maintaining the budget. And I 100% have supported them. And I am in alignment with everything. I agree with everything they've done.
Okay, thank you. Lori?
Since I had part in creating those goals, I 100% achieved those goals. But yeah, one thing I want to say about the goals is what I noticed in creating goals of my time is that you can create a goal that's kind of like this fuzzy goal, but what you really have to do is create goals that are measurable, right? That you can actually say, hey, we got this done. And that's what we focused on in creating these goals. So I'm very proud of what we did, and we spent, I don't know how much time we spend creating the goals at the beginning of the year, but it's hours. So I guess I think our goals are great. I want to improve the education, and so let's see what happens. See how our graduation rate does. See how our test scores do.
Thank you. So, thank you. And what makes a good board member and why?
I think a good board member, obviously, I would say strong communication and listening skills, strong decision-making skills, a community participant. I think supporting someone who's very supportive of teachers, administrative staff, collaborative effort. I think it is also important to be able to listen to your other board members. You might not all agree on something, but it's also very important to listen to everyone's perspectives and make sure you can all come to an agreement.
Lori?
One of the most important things is be prepared and read all your documents and read the new state laws that are coming down, any changes in the educational department. I think you have to be really a big picture thinker, that any decision you make today can affect things down the road. So you have to really consider all the nuances of that. I think you need to learn how to negotiate, because there's a lot of collective bargaining agreements you have to negotiate. I think you have to be a good decision maker. I think you need to have good conflict resolution skills, because you're dealing with 7 people who may not fully agree, but you have to come out with some decision. And you know what? You have to sometimes live with a decision that you don't agree with, right? You have to support that decision. So I think all those types of skills are very important for a board member.
Cool.
I think there's 7 attributes of a board member that I think would make an effective board member. An effective communicator, a consensus builder, a community participant, a decision maker, an information processor, a leader, and a team player.
Okay, thank you. Lori, you three. It seems that each year, children's behavior in the classroom gets more disruptive and disrespectful towards the teachers and staff. What, as a I'm sure what that word is, should be done so not to interfere with learning of students?
I haven't heard so much of that. I know I've heard a little bit about that in Vernon, where we have, sometimes at that age you have more discipline problems. So we put in a vice principal to help deal with those issues a little bit more, so that if a teacher has an issue, they can go to somebody to see how they can resolve it. I think that, if teachers are really having those types of issues with students, or parents are having those issues, we should hear about that at the Board of Education so that we can figure out a way to resolve it.
Thank you. Nicole?
Well, this is something I deal with every day. So I think that basically you want to be in contact with the parents as much as possible. work alongside them to help rectify and fix the situation. Kids are going to be kids, but when it becomes disruptive to others' learnings, that's when it becomes a problem, and we have to fix that when that happens.
Thank you.
I agree. I think we should utilize guidance counselors and social workers. That is unacceptable, and classroom learning should not be disrupted if a kid is misbehaving. I think, as Lori said also, that should be brought to the board. Obviously, parents should be talking to their teachers, but if they feel like they're not getting anywhere with their teachers, they should work their way up and, escalate to the proper people, because that's not acceptable.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Lori, we'll start with you. What do you think are the major issues facing the district?
I think we answered this a little bit earlier, but obviously working through adding programming, especially when you have interest rates going up the way they are and the CPI going up the way they are. And the world doesn't operate with, the CPI might be going up 8%, but you have a 2% tax cap. You're going to just have to deal with that. So we have to somehow be able to add programming and handle our increases in, for example, the insurance rates. $1 million of our budget this year is because of increased insurance rates. So we really have to keep a fiscally tight balance sheet and still be able to provide programming. And I see that getting harder and harder with the high interest rates. I really do think we got to focus on our science research, because what I'm hearing, and I saw with my own kids, to get into these schools, they want to see science research, and we just don't have it at the level we have it. So I'd really like to see that improved.
Thank you, Nicole.
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry, I missed the first part of it.
What do you think are the major issues facing the district?
I honestly am not sure of any major issues facing the district.
I think just in general, I think as the interest rates have been climbing, it's probably getting very hard to provide programs, innovative programs for our students. Like I had said earlier, a challenge, I think, like I said, bullying, student discipline, as we just spoke about the last question, testing criteria for our students, probably a big issue. Just making sure our curriculum is up to date, and our programs staying within the tax cap, and making everybody happy, because I know that's not always easy, but that's why we have to work together.
Thank you. Nicole, what do you think is the role of parents in decision making and getting parents involved in the schools?
So I believe that parents are essential in any form of education. I believe that it's crucial for student success. As a trustee, I would encourage and equip parents to actively support their children's education by offering workshops, resources, and open communication channels. I would work with the district to provide regular updates on curriculum changes, organize parent education events, and create opportunities for parents to engage with teachers and administration.
Thank you. Okay,
Sure. I think parents are essential in all of our children's development. I think it's very important to always stay in contact with parents, teachers, administrators. Like I had said earlier, the Seesaw app has been a huge deal for me, communicating with my daughter's teachers when I'm working. I think it's great. Messaging the teacher about something that may have happened, correlating, having a phone conversation saying that, can I call you tomorrow to talk about something? It's very hard. I know a lot of us work. So sometimes it's not easy for us to always be that involved, but I think it is essential for parents to be involved. And I also think coming to board meetings and speaking about issues and open communication is very important.
okay. Gloria?
As I said before, parents and students are our customers, and I think it's very important that they're involved in the children's education. I think it's also very important that we have them volunteer in our schools. They volunteer for PARP, they volunteer for PTA. I think that's just a very important way that they get to know the schools and the other students and the parents. I, as a parent, felt it was very important that teachers responded to me within 24 hours when I called them. And I think that that's one thing that we're, as a Board of Education, we want to make sure is happening as well. Because when a parent has a concern, it's very hard for them if they have to wait a long time for an answer, and it gets them frustrated. I think they have to be, they want to be involved in the kids. They want to give their opinions to the teachers. They want to tell the teachers how their student might be struggling, what they're doing well. So I think it's, you have to have the parents involved for a successful student.
Thank you. If you could change one thing in education, what would that be?
I don't know necessarily if I want to change anything. I'm more about just trying to make the improvements keep coming. I would say as a community and as a school, I just would like more community engagement and student parent engagement. I'm thrilled with the education my daughters are receiving. My little one had an IEP this year, so it's been a little rough. Roosevelt has been outstanding with her, and I'm very happy, and I am just set on keeping the improvements coming and supporting everybody.
Lori?
The question was if I could change anything about it, the education system, right?
If you could change one thing in education, what would that be?
It would be unfunded mandates from the state of New York, because they are so hard to deal with. There's so many things coming down from the state, and what that means for anybody who doesn't know the unfunded mandates is they require you to do something but do not give you the money to do it. So they might say you have to have universal kindergarten, but we're not going to give you any money for it. Or they might start funding it, and at the end they stop funding it. So you're stuck with that program, and you have no money to pay for it. So I'd like that. I'd like more local control in our district level, rather than everything being decided by the state, because we have our local needs, and you elect us Board of Education members so that we could make decisions, because we know what our parents want, we know what our students, what things we need, whereas the state is just creating these rules, these one-size-fits-all rules. So I'd really love that to stop.
Thank you. Nicole?
So if I could change one thing about education in general, I would just make it that it's inclusive to all students, our special needs students, our ELL learners, and anyone who may struggle in different areas.
Thank you. All right. Let's end on this last question. Why should they choose you over the other candidates for school board? Lori?
I think I've shown my dedication to this school. I really put my time into the school. I think I've shown that being on the school board, we've been able to implement some fabulous programs within the constraints that we have to deal with within the 2% tax cap. I think my performance really has shown that I've been a very valuable board member, and I'd like to continue to do that.
Thank you. Nicole?
What sets me apart from other candidates is that not only am I a parent of the children in the school, but I also have insight into the educational needs of our students. My extensive experience in the education field for the past 18 years helps me understand the issues that impact schools. Currently, the board is run by 7 very intelligent people, but no one there possesses an education background, and I feel like that I could close that gap.
Thank you. Caitlin?
I believe, I know people have asked me, you're a nurse, why are you running? That's weird. My career is committed to helping people. I'm a selfless person. I always have been. I have very strong relationships with many people in this community. Everyone knows how empathetic I am, and I just want to keep continuing the excellence of our school. I want to make sure people are comfortable. I want people to come to me with issues. I want them to feel comfortable talking to me. I think our candidates, I think we're all very great, and we all have something to offer. However, I just want to be an advocate for our children, parents, and our district.
for closing. We'll go in reverse order. Nicole, I'll begin with you.
In conclusion, I want to reiterate my dedication to promoting excellence and continuous growth in our district. As a trustee, my primary goal is to enthusiastically address key areas such as, but not limited to, early childhood education, inclusive education, English language learner support, parent involvement, professional development for teachers, community engagement, responsible technology use, elite opportunities for student athletes, and advanced opportunities for academic excellence. By focusing on these essential aspects of education, I'm confident that we can create a supportive and nurturing environment that encourages our students to reach their full potential and succeed both in school and beyond. Our children deserve the best education possible, and I'm committed to ensuring that we provide them with the tools and resources and opportunities they need to thrive. I stand before you today as a passionate advocate for education, a dedicated parent, and a seasoned professional, ready to work tirelessly to make a positive impact on the Oyster Bay East Norwich Board of Education. I ask for your support and selection, and together we can create a brighter future for our children and our community. Thank you once again for your time and attention. I'm excited about the opportunity to serve on the board and look forward to working to build a stronger, more vibrant educational community for our students.
Thank you. Lori?
Thank you once again for joining us tonight and for considering my candidacy for re-election to the Oyster Bay East Norwich School Board. I'm honored to have served our district over the past 8 years, and I'm excited about the possibility of continuing to work for our community in this capacity. As a parent who's had students attend all 3 of our schools, and I've volunteered in all 3 of our schools, and I'm an experienced attorney, I have a deep understanding of the needs and challenges facing our schools. I'm committed to ensuring that our district remains focused on providing our students with a high-quality education while remaining fiscally responsible. I believe that my experience and skills will allow me to continue to make a positive impact on our district and our community. I look forward to working with all of you to ensure that our schools remain a place where our children can learn, grow, and thrive. Thank you again for your consideration, and I ask for your support and your vote on Election Day. Together, we can continue to make our schools the best they can be.
Thank you. Caitlin?
I would like to thank you all coming tonight and giving 3 of us the opportunity to speak with you. As a second-generation Oyster Bay parent, I understand the character and the needs of our school district as well as the community, and I am dedicated to its continued success. As a candidate with 2 students at our elementary school, I am committed to and have a vested interest in the growth and advancement of our school district at every level, from elementary through high school. If elected on May 16th, I promise to always be available to any parent or student for feedback, ideas, or issues. I will prioritize the needs of our students and families, maintain an open mind, and listen to all perspectives in an effort to obtain the best outcome for our children. As a board member, I will leverage my deep roots in the community to foster participation, understanding, and consensus on critical issues so that progress continues to be made. We can continue to improve current programs for our children while being fiscally responsible by spending within our tax cap. Our current board has accomplished so much, and I'm so eager to be a part of it, not just for my kids, but for yours too. It would be an honor to serve on the Board of Education. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to congratulate, thank you all of the parents. And just to remind all of you that on Tuesday, May 16th, not only are you voting for 2 school board members, we're also voting on the budget. In addition, there are 2 propositions. Proposition number 2 is proposed technology reserve fund projects. That's proposition number 2. And proposition number 3, proposed capital reserve fund projects. I just want to thank all of you for coming, and for those of you that are watching live stream, and thank you. Please share all of this information with friends and family, and thank you again. And if you're interested in the back, I think there are a couple of league brochures. Feel free. This is our voters guide, and this is information about if you want to contact any of your elected officials. This is a very handy guide for you. Thank you all for coming, and good night.